It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
Hey guys, how is it going? And welcome to the Morning Star Drive on 117.8. It is Wednesday, October 4th, and so happy for you joining us. We are ready to start another day together with the Lord. So subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on SoundCloud, and make sure to support us on Patreon. So today we have an exciting podcast for you. We have Health is Happiness, the Foundational Books Word Study, and of course commentaries, updates, and news on what is happening around the world in this history today. All right, everyone, how are you doing? Yes, it is already hump day, the middle of the week. Hope you guys have been enjoying your week thus far. If you haven't yet, go ahead, leave a like and comment below to build our community. Just super happy for everyone joining us every weekday on the Morning Star Drive. So let's get up and support each other each and every day. This week's Sunday message title is God's Heart and My Heart. All right, so yes, it's Wednesday already. We're in the middle of the week. As you guys can hear, I can't really speak as loud as I want to. So I'm really close to my mic right now because I haven't lost my voice, but I'm kind of semi-lost my voice, right? So I'm just kind of still recovering. You know what's something quite interesting? Saturday was so exhausting. We played 3 games. And then at night when I went to sleep, I had cold sweats. I wasn't hot. I was just sweating. And, we were at the Airbnb. I got up, I think it was 12:30, past midnight. It was 12:30. I got up. I had to wash up again. And then I went downstairs where it's a little bit cooler. And then I went to sleep on the sofa. And again, I was waking up in cold sweat. So I was just man, there's my body is not handling this much strenuous exercise, playing soccer that much. So I think my body was reacting not too well to it. But I drank a lot of water and just kind of rehydrated myself. But yeah, it's kind of my body was what do you call it? Not rejecting me, but my body's telling me dude, this is way too much. This is way too much you're doing right now. So it wasn't easy for my conditioning and my fitness. I think I could have been much, much better in my fitness. I was, still tired the next day, but overall it was a great tournament. So things are kind of getting back to normal now. As you know, I'm still in Atlanta. I'll be here for the rest of this week. And I think most of the people have left. Even this place last night, the night before, we had 13 guys in this Airbnb, right? Because one of our members owns an Airbnb, a really, really big house. So 13 of us just crashed, right? And now since everyone has left, it's just me and the host, and it's kind of more of a relaxing and easy time. And of course, the member who's hosting, he's also working too. So, he's got to do his work. I can do my podcast, go exercise and do stuff like that too. So yeah, things are getting back to normal, and I'm going to do probably a little bit more sightseeing here and there, but nothing really, really that big. But most people have left. They've gone back to their respective states. And I'm relaxed. And I'm kind of trying to get myself back into a normal rhythm. But, last night I ate barbecue again. Okay, so the first 2 nights was barbecue at the Airbnb in Atlanta. Then the third night we had the barbecue with all the guys at the Airbnb. The fourth night I went to Korean barbecue, and then the fifth night, which was yesterday, we went to the aquarium, and then for lunch after the aquarium we went to a barbecue house, right? So it's pretty wild, and I haven't had this much meat in such a long time. So this morning, I was this is way too much meat. I just kept eating broccoli, carrots. What else was I eating? I was eating broccoli, carrots, coffee, and peanut butter, right? I was trying to get away from the meat, but I was eating as many carrots and as many broccoli and celery and stuff like that too. So, and a banana. So I'm trying to get myself back onto a little bit more balanced diet. I need some greenery in my body. But today I'm going to go back to exercise. I need to work off the barbecue meat that I've been eating too much of. But I will be going to exercise right after I record this podcast. But there's something I realize about myself. It's something really weird. And I'm just noticing some stuff when I'm with a big group of people. Because, when you're by yourself, you don't really notice it. But when you're with a group of people, you kind of get to notice these little like things about yourself. And I think I have this I have this OCD problem, right? This obsessive compulsive disorder. Like, you know how people like, they like lock the door 3 times or they wipe the door. I don't have anything like that. But when it comes to like my phone, I don't like seeing like unread emails. Like I've seen some people, it really bothers me. They have like 9,999 unread emails. For me, I can't, mine has to always be at 0. Like I'll always find it. I'll either erase it or respond to it, but I have to be at 0. All my text messages, I have to make sure that there's nothing remaining. They all have to be at 0. Isn't that kind of weird? Like I can't stand it. Like emails, whenever it pops up, I'll check it. I'll either erase it, put it into the junk folder, whatever it is. When it comes to my text, I'll see the text pop up. I'll go check it, make sure what it is, and then I'll get it through. Even my Instagram. On Instagram, when you have like the people you follow, they have their stories up or they have like posts. I just make sure I like all of them. I just go through all of them. I like all the ones that I'm following, and that's kind of like an OCD thing. It's really, really weird. Like I want it to be absolutely clean. No red numbers popping up anywhere. No like texts that I haven't answered. No emails that I haven't checked. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's so weird. It is weird. And I noticed it even more when I'm with a big group of people that I'm still doing this type of thing. It's kind of like a habit thing, but I think it's like some type of OCD thing. I'm not sure about you guys, because I've seen a ton of people with thousands of emails, like thousands. I'm just like, how do you live like that? Right? Having thousands of emails kind of thing. I make sure everything is thrown away or put into the junk section or whatever it is. I even clean my junk mail. Every day I'll look at the junk. I'll just kind of scan through them just to see if there's anything important that shouldn't be there. And then I just throw away all the junk. I do that. It's just kind of, yeah. Actually, and I did notice something else about myself too. Like, it's kind of like a lingering COVID trauma. I'm a very social person, and then all of a sudden during COVID, I was locked down and not meeting people and stuff like that too. And I know the introverts loved that time of like doing watching the services online and stuff. I had a really hard time with that. Like for me, I'm so used to like being around people, going to services at church, that like even when I'm watching service, I get distracted so easily when it's online service. Like I will see a bug and I'll just all of a sudden just start staring at the bug and only looking at the bug. I'm no longer paying attention to service. It's really, really weird, right? But I got so used to being alone that larger crowds makes me kind of nervous. And it's weird, right? Like especially coming from me, like the super extroverted, like active person, I get really nervous. Right? And even when we went to this event, I kind of didn't want to go into big groups. I wanted to be with people that I already knew. And it was just really, really weird. I was like, what? Like, what are you doing, Sky? Like, why are you like so nervous about this? That's so weird kind of thing, right? But I just realized, like, you know what? I've been like, say, in Vancouver, always around my parents, people that I'm comfortable, that I have a relationship with. I go to the church, I meet the people that I'm comfortable with. Like, it's very, very, it's just been like that for me over the last, 5 years, basically, not going to any big events. But I definitely, I saw this and I was like, wow, that's so crazy. It really is kind of crazy that I still kind of have like some lingering effects from it too. So I was like, I got to just get myself back into the mix more than anything else. So that I was just like, yeah, it's weird. I'm not sure if you guys have been through that where all of a sudden, like I know a lot of you went to Korea. Like I seriously don't even want to go to Whitestone Church, not because of the situation. I just don't want to be around 2,000 people. I just don't want to be around 2,000 people. It's just, it's like, oh, do I really have to see all these people and stuff like that? But I think as long as I keep meeting more and more people, get into these situations, I'll kind of get myself back into normal, and just got to get used to that situation again. But I found it really weird how nervous I got. The only thing that made me really comfortable was the church in Athens. Man, their church is so, like, the nature is so amazing. It's huge. Like I probably showed you some pictures of it on my Instagram, but what's even crazier, it's 10 acres, right? So I'm looking around like, wow, it's so big. But the land you can see is 3 acres, which means 7 acres, more than double of what you see is in the forest, and there's a lake and stuff in that area too. I was just like, whoa, this place is like way bigger than I thought. And I was just like, this place is amazing. In the future, that place is going to be used definitely as a retreat center. I can see it. People coming from all over, like America, doing retreats every single year, kind of like how you do retreats in like Wolmyungdong every year in Korea. I can see that happening in America with that place. That space was just amazing. And if you're able to fit 30 cars onto 3 acres and you still have 7 acres of untouched land left, that is crazy. Yeah, and the amount of preparation the people in the church in Athens and the people in Georgia did, it was just mind-blowing what they did. What they did was so amazing. Like even someone was going into the forest. Remember, there's 7 acres, right, of forest and trees and woods and water and stuff. Someone was going in there just clearing the cobwebs in the forest. And I was like, what? Like no one's even going there, but they were really preparing with that heart of, like welcoming the Trinity. So that was something I looked at. I was like, wow, that's so amazing. Like how much effort they put into it. And I think they were really blessed when you look at how they ended up in the tournament. They ended up as the 1 seed after the first day. And I thought that was really, really cool and amazing too. We're still into, it's been like Sunday was the last day. So we're just a couple days after this event. And one thing I was realizing is the psychology of sport. Like we just went through this tournament. So many ups and downs. It's crazy, right? I just realizing even more how interesting it is what goes through the mind of an athlete, like the highs and the lows, where your mind, like think about this, imagine you're training your heart out. And then when you win, how you feel. Like after it's like, oh, it's all worth it. And you feel so blessed and you're thanking God for this. But then think about the exact same opposite when you trained your heart out and then you lose. It's really interesting just to look at myself and seeing where my heart goes, because there's such huge swings in your heart, huge swings. Like, remember I was telling you that in the semifinals, both semifinals went into penalty kicks? Man, such euphoria for the winner, such huge, like, down, like you're so down for the losers, right? They hit this really low, right? When you lose a penalty kick, or imagine you're the person that has the pressure of if you miss the kick, your team loses. Tell me that's crazy. And how low you would feel that you're the one that kind of let your team down. But then the interesting thing is, like even after these games and even after this tournament ends, there is a winner. There is this euphoria. There is this victory. You play another game. You have another tournament. You have more practices, and you start the entire process all over again. And this is what made me think really deeply about how sports is similar to life and why Sunstein always realizes about life through sports. He talks about sports and he talks about how our life is like, what our life is like when we play sports, and realizing about life through sports. And I realized even more this time because, we went through the semifinals of winning in the penalty kicks, and I was just like, wow, that was so amazing. And then we also see we lost in the finals, and just feeling the defeat and the agony of defeat in that situation when you're at the final so close to the end kind of thing. And I just realized even more how sports is really and truly like a microcosm of life. But it's like life in such a short amount of time. Like you go through the ups and downs, really heavy ups and downs, in a matter of 2 hours. Like that's crazy, right? So there's like two things that I thought about, two things I realized when I was after going through this tournament, right? The first one is sports is in real time with real consequences. Like you see the consequence right there. Like in life, you may not see it right away, but you'll realize later, like, oh, I shouldn't have made this mistake. But in sports, it's such a microcosm that your mistakes, you can see it unfold in front of you and the consequence of that mistake you make. Like you play the ball once and then the other team gets it and they score. Like that is like you see the consequence. You pay what you get, right? You get according to what you have done. Every opportunity can make someone a hero or make someone a villain or can make someone like make us disappointed. But the interesting part is, in the end, the mistakes and the glory, it's so temporary, and we have to move on to the next game, move on to the next tournament. Like that glory of winning, it doesn't last long. You're already thinking about, man, we gotta, fight for next tournament and make sure we win the next one, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, that's what life is. Life is, we're gonna go through these ups and downs, but in life, it's kind of like we get so down on those lows. And we get so high on the highs, but we don't realize it's temporary, and we're going to have to face something again and go through that again, kind of thing, right? So, like even for me, like the second thing I realized about like sports is that the reason why it's so real is because, well, the emotions are really, they're real. When you go into sports, when you're playing, when you're losing, like, man, winning in the PKs, the exhilaration and the joy, and that's just the semis. And then on the other side, in the finals, like when they scored on such a crazy goal, like you feel the dread in your heart, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what's going on? And then even when there's 5 minutes left in the game, you feel it, the anxiousness, the desperation, like you're like, what? Like, are we really going to lose on that type of a goal? And then when the game ends, you just see the other team's victory and how they're celebrating. And then you feel the dread of losing in your heart. And, but it's just, that's life. It's real, right? You get real emotions because everything you put in, you will see an exact consequence happen within a matter of 2 days. Right? That's kind of the emotions we go through in life. But we're going through those emotions in this short amount of time. And I think one of the big things that I think that we can learn from sports is the ability to be resilient, to bounce back after a loss, to bounce back after being down, right? And that's something we do need to learn. We need to learn how to lose. Right? We do. And life is going to give us even harder things like that too. Those feelings and starting again. And this is basically what life is. You have the ups and downs, but it never stops. Right? That's what life is. Life is going through those emotions, going through ups and downs, but it doesn't stop until you die. Like, I'm 45 and I'll joke around that I'm old, but I still have I have like half my life left. And with half my life, I'm going to have ups and downs. And at the end of the downs, it's going to be temporary. I'm going to have a chance to restart it again and do something else. And I think it's just one of those things I'm just very grateful for playing sports all my life is you got to go through those things. But then, even after it's all said and done and you lose a tournament, as an athlete, you kind of reset your mind like, let's go, let's do it again kind of thing, right? So I'm definitely I've already been asking some of the athletes from the events, from the winning teams, the finals team, losing teams, any of those people to just kind of give testimonies, right? And especially because, remember guys, October is a month of giving glory to God. So we can give glory to God in many different ways. And definitely, as we heard in 2 weeks ago, it's like testify. Let's testify. If there's anything else, like this is opening for everyone, not just the athletes in the event. If you have anything you would like to testify about or do, to give glory, please send your audios. Even if you want to sing, I will play that too. You don't have to have the best recording. You don't have to have the best recording tools or anything. This is all about giving glory to God this month. If you have anything, just let me know and I'm going to play it because this is a month we can all give glory to God through our own talents and abilities. So if it's anything that's recordable through audio, I would love to play it and have giving glory through this podcast each and every day too of October. Okay. Oh, also remember today we have Health is Happiness, but the cool thing about today's Health is Happiness is going to be another new episode, and this is episode 50. So which means that we're just 2 episodes shy of doing 1 year of Health is Happiness. And today, once again, Yen Yu from Singapore, she's studying physiotherapy. She's going to be going over an episode called An Overview of an Active Lifestyle. So this is something I think is going to be beneficial to a lot of people. And I know a lot of people aren't active, but we're going to see the benefits, the overview of what the benefits are of living an active lifestyle. All right, so I'm excited for this, to having a brand new episode of Health is Happiness also. And very, very big thanks to Yen Yu over there in Singapore for really taking the time to record these episodes too. Okay, so there it is, guys. Let's go into the first break of the day.
He's awesome, that's right. That's right.
The Lord is absolutely fulfilled the will with his heart, will, and life.
He's awesome, that's right. That's right.
God, I'm convicted. I'll keep God's purpose for all time. With love in my heart, I'll walk this path rejoicing for life. Life is awesome when I'm living with the Lord. My life is finally made the will of God come true. I'm so proud of my life. Now my future is so bright. My spirit is shining. Oh, awesome life.
Whatever they say, I will never give up on the will.
I know that my life's so awesome. Read and established by God Almighty. Providence is God's history.
It is awesome, that's right. That's right.
With all my life, I'll always protect this history to the Lord and his will.
I am awesome, that's right. That's right.
God, I'm convicted. I walk this path and testify. With love in my heart, I sing it off with thanks on high. Life is awesome when I'm living with the Lord. My life is finally made the will of God come true. I'm so proud of my life. Now my future is so bright. My spirit is shining. Oh, awesome life.
Whatever they say, I will never give up on the will.
I know that my life's so awesome.
For God's will of creation, I raise my level with the Lord always until forever. When we don't know what's boring, since I know I'm all in my heart, in my mind, in my thoughts and actions. I change through the Lord's charisma, and I'm deeply rooted in this history. I'm always the ace, I won't be shaken. Word is the base of who you can't mistake it.
I chose my direction. I'm resolute that it's my lifetime career. I've received the Lord's thoughts, fulfill the purpose with him.
Look just how awesome my life has become.
I'm so proud of my life.
Even like it that I look who making history.
Now my future's so
Since I'm
bright.
soaring up a light that comes out from the heavens.
My spirit is
My
shining.
spirit shines because I love the Lord forever,
Oh,
always.
awesome life.
Whatever they say, I will never give up on the will.
I'm so proud of my life.
Even like it that I look who making history.
Now my future's so
Since I'm
bright.
soaring up a light that comes out from the heavens.
My spirit is
My
shining.
spirit shines because I love the Lord forever,
Oh,
always.
awesome life.
Whatever they say, I will never give up on the will.
I know that my life's so awesome.
All right, so let's get into today's word study. And of course, every Wednesday we do have, lately we've been doing the foundational books of Christianity. And today I wanted to go over a more modern book that's been out since, I think it's been like since 2005. I'll have to recheck this, but it's it's a recent book. And it has changed many people's lives. It's a devotional book by Rick Warren called The Purpose-Driven Life. I'm sure many of you have actually heard about this book before, but Rick Warren actually pastors a church in California. I believe it's in Los Angeles, and this church is like one of the largest in America. I think it has over like 30,000 people in the church. And if you go visit that church, it's crazy. They have like a little mini Wolmyeongdong on the land, like really natural. It's very Californian. People are dressed, more comfortably because it's such hot weather. You can watch the sermon from the outdoor patios and stuff like that too. It's really, really nice. But this book, so it's published in 2002. It's called The Purpose-Driven Life, a devotional, something you can read every single day. And I believe there's like 40 chapters in it, like very, very short, right? So it's like 40 days of personal spiritual journey. And the book kind of explores what Pastor Warren says are God's 5 purposes for human life on earth, and describes itself as a blueprint for Christian living, daily living in the modern day. And of course, it uses a lot of passages from the Bible to challenge the conventional definitions of Christian worship, ministry, evangelism, and it's actually considered one of the most important modern Christian texts, right? It explores themes like meaning of life. What's the purpose of living? What does it mean to really be close to God? What is the best way to serve God's purpose? It's a crazy bestseller. I think to date there's been 50 million copies sold, right? Up to now, but in the first 5 years, okay? So it was 2002, right? In the first 5 years, it sold 30 million. So in total, it's 50 million to date, but 30 million have been sold in the first 5 years. Like New York Times bestseller list for more than 90 weeks, right? And all the way back in 2005. Remember, this book goes in 2002, right? In 2005, a survey of American pastors and ministers, right? They named this book, The Purpose-Driven Life, as the most significant book in their lives and ministries. And although some Christian scholars criticize it for like some of the interpretations of the Bible passages it uses, the people who think about it, 50 million readers, this book actually like made the news. Like for what reason? Not because of how much it sold, because in 2005. On the news, some woman managed to calm the criminal taking her hostage by reading to the criminal, the hostage taker, right? Reading to him excerpts from The Purpose-Driven Life. And even this story was adapted into a movie called Captive, right? So it's like, yeah, that's how much influence this book has. Right? So let me just tell you how crazy, like, this has changed Rick Warren's life. So he has his church over 30,000 people, right? But after the success of this book, he stopped taking a salary from his church. So he's been like volunteering since like 2002 or 2000, around 2000, 2005, 2006, whatever it is. Like he stopped taking salary, okay? And not only did he stop taking salary from his church, he also gave back his salary that he earned from his first 25 years with the church. Think about that. He not only just stopped taking a salary, he gave back the money that he was given for the first 25 years he was pastoring that church. That's pretty crazy, right? So like this book has been translated into 137 different languages, 50 million copies, multiple formats. And guess what how he does his tithe? He does reverse tithes. What does that mean? He gives 90% of his income to church. 90%. Like that's like extreme philanthropy, right? Because in most cases, people are not going to get tax deducted up to like something like, I forget what the percentage is, but you're not getting tax deductible of 90%, but he gives 90% back to his church. And they say his net worth right now is 25 million. It's all because of this one book. All because of one book, right? So this is how big and how popular this book actually is. So let's get into a little bit more about the book. So The Purpose-Driven Life, 40 short chapters. You're supposed to read one chapter per day, right? And these 40 chapters are divided into into other categories, or sections, right? So there's 5 main sections, and these 40 chapters are, each of them, maybe it looks like the average is you have 8 chapters per section, right? 5 times 8 is 40. And in the opening segment, Rick Warren establishes his main points, right? And basically, his first thing he tells everyone is, it all starts with God, and we can only discover our identities and purpose through God. And then the second thing he says is, we are not accidents. We've been created by God for a specific purpose. The third thing he says is, we must ask what drives our life and make sure that we are not being driven by things such as guilt, resentment, anger, or fear. Instead, a purpose-driven life will give us meaning and prepare us for eternity. So our relationship with God is meant to last forever and allows us to see life from God's view. So life is a temporary assignment on the way to eternity. So the reason for everything is that we bring God glory by loving other believers, becoming like Christ, serving others with our gifts, and telling others about Him. So that's kind of like the intro. And then the first main segment establishes that we were planned for God's pleasure. So bringing enjoyment to God is our first pleasure, and He wants us to enjoy our life as well. And what makes God smile is when we trust Him, obey Him, and praise Him. The heart we need for worship is trusting God and admitting we have our limitations. And we're able to become best friends with God through constant conversation and meditation. Developing a friendship with God means obeying God in faith and valuing what God values. So what does God value? God values worship that is accurate, authentic, thoughtful, and practical. And whenever God seems distant to us, it's key for us to trust in His plan and continue talking to Him as if He were there and thank Him for what He has already done. Right? So that's kind of like the first purpose. The second purpose states that we were formed to be in God's family, and we are all His children. So love is what matters most in life, and we are called to belong to God's family, not just to believe, and the church is how God's family manifests. So life is meant to be shared with our fellow believers, and this involves cultivating community, which means showing honesty, humility, courtesy, and frequent regular contact. Broken fellowships and relationships can be restored by taking the initiative, showing compassion, and talking to God first. And to protect our church, it's key to be realistic, encouraging, refuse to listen to gossip, and practice God's method for conflict resolution. So, that's the second purpose. The third purpose we have, it says that we were created to become like Christ. So God wants us to take on His values, attitude, and character. So God wants us to grow up, and this takes an intentional commitment. And we're transformed by His truth, and we are transformed by the troubles we endure and overcome. So we grow through temptation and by overcoming temptation in favor of sticking to our principles. So temptation is defeated by focusing on other things, finding support in others, realizing what it is, and accepting our vulnerability. And it takes time to achieve spiritual growth, but God supports us through our journey. Now, remember there's 5 purposes. The fourth purpose says that we are shaped for serving God. So the first part of this is accepting our assignment no matter what it may be. Every role that serves God is significant. God shaped each creature with a unique purpose, and that includes our spiritual gifts, our heart, our abilities, our personality, and our experience. And each of these elements gives us part of what we need to serve God, and it's up to us to explore and understand these elements so we can best use them in God's service. Then it's time to use and embrace what God gave us. So God doesn't make mistakes, so there's no point to try reshape ourselves to be like someone else. Real servants serve God by serving others and are faithful to their ministry. Service starts in the mind, which means humility and devotion to others are key. God finds power in weakness, and instead of hating weakness, it is key to see it as a trophy of grace. So the final purpose states that we were all made for a mission, and God intends us to have a ministry to continue Jesus' mission on earth. And this includes sharing our mission, our testimony, our life lessons, our godly passions, and the good news of salvation. And becoming a world-class Christian requires shifting from self-centered, local thinking to compassionate, social, eternal thinking. And of course, it requires balancing life, making sure to give enough time to worship, ministry, evangelism, fellowship, and discipleship. And this is the key to living with purpose. So, these are kind of the things that he talks about in this book. It's very, think about it. This is definitely something that God has inspired Rick Warren with, because it's affected 50 million people, and many Christians were when I was growing up. As a Christian, and when I first started coming to Providence, this was huge when this book came out. And Rick Warren, very, very famous pastor. He was actually one of the spiritual advisors to President Obama also. And he's the founder and senior pastor of Saddleback Church, which is the 8th largest church in the U.S. And he's also done TED Talks, and their church in 1 year actually sent missionaries to every country in the world, even including North Korea. So it's very, very interesting that what his ministry is doing. But this is one of those core books that a lot of people who are new to Christianity, or people who've kind of forgotten why they're doing it, they'll read this book. It's very, very good. 40 days of reading this. So this is a very short book also, that you guys could do as a devotional, just to kind of get an idea of where the foundation of the former faith came from, because those foundations are also our foundations too. We're just kind of transferring the relationship from parent and child to bride and bridegroom, right? So that is one book I do suggest that if you do get a chance to read, it's really, really good, right? And I hope it's something that all of us, I think it should inspire us to make books that are more, that have the word in it, right? We should be making these types of books that shape people's thoughts about what does it mean to be in Christ? What does it mean to be someone who believes in God? And if we do these types of books, God's also going to bless these books too if we do them really well. And in the same way, think about that. Imagine if Sunseem's word is put into a book that's really small. It's good for 40 days of devotions, and then in the end of it, what happens? We're able to sell 50 million, 100 million copies, right? Where we can support ministries and be able to support others who are doing ministry work also. So I think it's something that we should really, really be thinking about also, is writing these types of books that have the word in it, so that people in the world can really experience the word that we've been given. Okay? So there it is, guys. That is today's foundational books word study. I hope it's something that something that you guys enjoyed kind of going over. If you get a chance, go ahead and read that book. I'm sure there's going to be audiobooks on this too out there. And there's probably going to be you can get it on Kindle and read it on, You can read it on your Kindle, order it for $1 or $2, something like that too. All right. So there it is, guys. That is today's episode of Foundational Books of Christianity. Hope you guys enjoyed that, which means we're going to move into the second break of the day.
You showed me all of your heart, even before I gave mine. That's why I can't help myself. I'll always follow you. You showed me how to believe, so that my faith became strong. That's why I can't help myself. I'll always follow you. More than 1,000 words from anyone, your word is all I need. Your word is what I will believe. More than 1,000 words from anyone, I'll put my faith in you. Your word is what I will believe. myself, I'll always follow you.
You showed me unending love, came to me and loved me first. That's why I can't help myself, I will always love you most.
More than 1,000 words from anyone, your word is all I need. Your word is what I will believe. More than 1,000 words from anyone, I'll put my faith in you. Your word is what I will believe. There's nothing ordinary in the word that you have given me. I've witnessed it, realized, know it's real. You gave me light instead of darkness, gave me love instead of pain. Clarity replaced confusion, peace replaced uncertainty. You gave me life that lasts eternal, far beyond this time. I can't help but love you. You gave me light instead of darkness, gave me love instead of hate. Clarity replaced confusion, peace replaced uncertainty. You gave me love that lasts eternal, far beyond this time. I can't help but love you.
Can't help but follow.
My heart is unwavering and true. It is firm and strong, a tree with deepest roots. My heart is unwavering and true. It is firm and strong, a tree with deepest roots.
More than 1,000 words from anyone, your word is all I need. Your word is what I will believe.
More than 1,000 words from anyone, I'll put my faith in you. Your word is what I will believe.
Okay, so let's get into today's final segment of the day for this Wednesday podcast. And we have Health is Happiness. And this is the 50th episode, brand new episode just dropped. There's going to be a series, I believe 2 or 3 episodes on this, but this is an overview of an active lifestyle. I'm looking forward to listening to this too, because I really, that's one of the parts of my life. I want an active lifestyle. I want to be playing sports, exercising, doing these different types of things. But I would love to hear what Yuen Yu from Singapore has to say about this. She's studying physiotherapy at the moment. So everyone, as we are anticipating, let's welcome all the way from Singapore. This is Yuen Yu with Health is Happiness.
Hello everyone, my name is Yuen Yu and I'm from Singapore. I'm currently a final year physiotherapy student, and on today's segment, I will be sharing more about active lifestyle. From this segment onwards, I will be sharing the topics in a more organized manner with these few weeks on active lifestyle, of which each week I will share a subtopic before carrying on to another big topic. I will also be using a better quality microphone in hopes that the audio will be of better quality so that everyone can listen to the sharings better. I would like to give thanks to the Holy Trinity, Julius, as well as Pastor Sky for making this platform podcast possible. Without further ado, I will begin. Firstly, why an active lifestyle? With COVID easing, studies have shown that in the general population of people, there is a decrease in physical activity, increase in sedentary behavior. Also, being fit and physically active has strong evidence of reduced rate of all causes of mortality, including heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, diabetes, cancer, depression. Being fit and active also has strong evidence of increasing heart and muscle fitness, improved bone health, and improved cognitive function. Through research, it also shows that the risk of physical inactivity is even similar to that of obesity and smoking. Next, I will explain how one can have an active lifestyle. A disclaimer is that all of these are general health advice. If you have any existing medical conditions or any questions, do consult your local doctor. How to have an active lifestyle? It consists of exercise and physical activity. Exercise refers to planned and structured physical activity such as jogging, swimming, biking, strengthening exercises. Whereas physical activities are any activities requiring energy expenditure. For instance, household chores, window shopping, walking a dog. Hence, exercise is a subset of physical activity. Within exercise, there are two types: cardio, also known as aerobic exercise, and strength, also known as resistance exercise. For cardio exercise, according to the American Council of Sports Medicine, ACSM guidelines, it recommends that for healthy adults, a total of at least 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity exercise, or at least 75 minutes of high intensity exercise per week. This can be broken down into, for instance, 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise 5 times a week. And some examples include jogging, cycling, swimming, or joining church sports activities if your church has. For strength exercises, it is recommended to do them 2 or more days a week of moderate to high intensity. Some examples include body weight squats, body weight push-ups, or you can go to the gym to use the weights available. Then, how do you tell what intensity to exercise at? One easy way is to use the rate of perceived exertion scale, in short, RPE scale. This scale is a scale of 0 to 10, whereby 0, you are at rest, and 10, you perceive that activity to be the most difficult activity ever. Moderate intensity is a 4 to 6 out of 10, and high intensity is 7 to 9 out of 10. Other methods include using heart rate monitoring, but that is not that important or relevant now because it is more applicable to a population that has a heart condition and they need to monitor their heart rate more closely, or it can also pertain to very high level athletes who need to have that specific training. Then, by using the RPE scale, you can monitor the intensity you're exercising at. Another way to monitor is using the talk test, meaning that if you're able to complete full sentences while you're talking, that is considered a moderate intensity, but if you're only able to speak a few words at each time, then that is considered high intensity. Then, when do you progress your exercise? When you do the same intensity of exercise, but you find it easier. The key is to gradually progress and not to do too much too fast because that may cause injury. On the flip side, it is also important to do exercise of a certain intensity, for instance, a moderate intensity, in order to have that exercise benefit. Ways to progress include, for cardio exercises, you can increase the duration, increase the intensity, whereas for strength exercises, you can increase the number of reps, increase the amount of weight that you're carrying. During exercise, do monitor your symptoms such as pain, fatigue, breathlessness, giddiness, lightheadedness, cold sweat, chest pain. If any of the above, besides the usual muscle aches that may be more abnormal, do take a break or cease activity if needed. Thirdly, one other way of having an active lifestyle besides doing exercise is to increase your physical activity. In other words, increasing physical activity also means breaking up your sedentary periods lasting more than 90 minutes. These include sitting down to do work, sitting down to listen to sermons, commuting for long hours. And how we can break it up is by getting up and walk around for a taller break. But for instance, if let's say we can't walk around that much, then it will be good to move your ankles a little bit by doing some ankle palms, stretch your hands in front of you. But of course, do be mindful when you do all these movements and try not to do it too much that you might disturb the other people around you. To end off, I will share a little extract from a July 2020 Sunday message. It says, God made you healthy, comfortable, and live in His grace and love so that you could love Him, save lives, run, and do His work with a healthy body. With that, we've come to the end of the episode. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
All right, and thank you so much, Inyu, for another wonderful episode of Health is Happiness, an overview of an active lifestyle. And I think this is one of the things that Sunseam is teaching all of us to be, is having some type of active lifestyle, even whether it's going to be, whether aerobics, yoga, exercising, training, track, running, whatever it is. These are all important parts of our life. And I hope that all of us can start something when it comes to these things, all right? So everyone, let's really make sure we have not just an active spiritual lifestyle of going to church and praying, do these things, but let's take care of our bodies and our minds too. All right. So there's, guys, that is the end of today's Wednesday podcast. Hope you guys super enjoyed it, just as I have. There's so many things for us to do before the end of the year comes. We have less than 3 months left. Let's really make sure, especially in the month of October, we give glory as much as we can. Everyone, have an amazing service tonight, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow on the Morning Star Drive on 117.8.
It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and feel your mind.
I'm burning with desire and the passion. Nobody can stop me when I'm like this. I got my head in the zone, I'm on the Morning Star Drive, I'm burning with desire and the passion. Nobody can stop me when